Hello, my name is Dave Pollard. I'm the Education and Outreach Manager at Spaceport Cornwall. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, about who we are, and then give you some tips about how you may get involved with the space sector in the future. So I'm the Education and Outreach Manager here. My background is that I'm a local Cornish lad. I studied at Helston School and Helston College. I took A-levels in business management, psychology and sociology, and then I went on to university to study business management at a higher level. When I finished university, I worked within the realms of education and careers for a number of years and marketing. My previous job was working for an organisation called the Careers Hub, and that looked at linking businesses and schools together to help inform students like yourselves into the opportunities that they have locally. Whilst I was there, I worked a lot with the Spaceport Cornwall team and the space sector generally. And when an opportunity arose to join the Spaceport Cornwall team, I jumped at it and took it. I think that gives an aspect of how important sort of networking is in careers, but also having that knowledge and the skills behind you at the same time. So at Spaceport Cornwall, our motto is launch our future, but today I really want this to be about launching your future and hoping that the space sector may be something that you're interested in the future. So what is Spaceport Cornwall? Spaceport Cornwall is a collaboration between Cornwall Council, Cornwall Airport Newquay, UK Space Agency, Goonhilly Earth Station and Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Local Enterprise Partnership. And it's going to be based at Cornwall Airport Newquay because it's got one of the longest runways in the UK. It's got a largely uncongested airspace and it's got almost direct access over the sea, which is really important when launching rockets. And we're not talking about launching rockets vertically. As you may expect. The reason why having a long runway is important is because we're talking about launching rockets horizontally. So this is Virgin Orbit's Cosmic Girl, and they'll be using this plane and this technology to launch their rockets from Spaceport Cornwall in 2022. So what are the opportunities in the space sector? So we're talking about jobs, and we're not necessarily talking about astronauts. You know, for the moon landings, a handful of astronauts walked on the moon, but 400,000 people made that happen. And those types of jobs are spaceport operations, space plane and rocket systems, payload integration, so the people that put the satellites into the rocket, propulsion systems, the people that actually look at how that rocket will propel in the air. Also talking about aerospace engineers. You know, engineering is in short supply in a lot of different sectors, and they're the people that really solve the problems and put our products together that we need, and they're so important, and it's a really exciting role. Also talking about downstream application development. So we're getting lots of data back from space. How do we use that data in a commercially wise way, but also in a beneficial way to people to make that happen? I'm going to go on to routes and talk about how you may get into some of these jobs in the future if they're of interest. So there are a growing number of apprenticeships in the area. They're still in fairly short supply. I would say that there was the first space engineering technician apprenticeship that started in 2021 with Airbus in Leicester, and it is something that we're wanting to develop more and further. However, 62% of the jobs advertised last year within the space and aerospace sector did require a degree or a degree level qualification. And that UCAS website on the other side of the screen is particularly good for looking at courses that you may want to go into. There's about 57,000 unique university courses that you could study. So if there's one aspect of one subject that you're particularly interested in, you could go on to study that right up to the highest level. I've looked on the UCAS website and I've chosen some of the space-specific courses. So there's the likes of aerospace engineering. You've got space science and robotics is really starting to grow within the space sector as well. You've got aerospace engineering with space technology, and then more for that downstream application side, you've got things like web and mobile app development with an integrated foundation year. So that means you may go out into industry for a year. So some really exciting courses there, but I would highly suggest that you do your own research. I think if you're at the stage now of thinking where you might want to go and what you might want to do, I would suggest having a look at the spacecareers.uk website, which has got a lot of the jobs in the space sector advertised. And you could have a look and see a specific job that you're interested in, and then work backwards, see what skills, what qualifications you need to get those jobs in the future. And that goes for any career in any sector. If you kind of know what sector may interest you, have a look at jobs in that sector and then see which ones you're interested in and work backwards. So I've got a few tips now, depending where you are on your educational journey. Again, I would have a look at that spacecareers.uk website if you're interested in jobs within the space sector. I would also, if you're thinking about going to university, or if you're at university already, there's a UK Space Agency Space Placements in Industry internship. So that's a 6 to 8 week internship where you can get paid £3,000 to work on a space related project. The other thing I would say, and this is relevant across all sectors, is engage. Engage with some of those businesses that are already set up in that area, the businesses that interest you. Take part in their competitions, get involved with them on social media. Also find opportunities. That links back to that. See what's out there. How can you enhance your CV? How can you get involved with things within the sector that will help make you shine when you're trying to stand up against other candidates? You can look at virtual work experience. We're running a virtual work experience in the Easter holidays, so do take a look at that if that's of interest to you. If you are at that stage of when you're at that stage of almost finishing your education, look at new business. There's never a better time than setting up new business than when you finish your education, because you haven't got a lot of the ties that you will have later on in life. There's a lot of support for new business out there as well. And I've also highlighted an opportunity at Launchpad, based at Falmouth University. That's a funded master's study course, and you get paid £16,000 to study on that. And you also have to set up a business, and that business can be within the space sector, or it could be within a different sector. And you look at that when you finish your degree level study. But I just wanted to highlight that just so you have an idea of what's out there. That's been a really quick sort of update from me, but thank you very much for listening to me. If you've got any questions, my email address is on the bottom there. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.